Bit of a gloomy one in Sydney. It's meant to be a bit of a wet weekend. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just snuck in a couple little efforts at the thumper. Yeah, look, had some fun this week, didn't we? Enjoyed that Fashion Fridays one. I had to laugh though. Like, people put comments below like, oh, you missed that. You missed this brand, you missed that brand. I covered 4 or 5 brands in 10 minutes. I'm happy to make these movie length vlogs, but we'll get there one step at a time, all right? So I will say, just like on the brands and stuff, like, obviously I want to cover them and do that. I'd like to sort of make it a bit more stylish. So the reason I say that is, like, I don't want people to have like brand allegiances, and get more of an idea of what style works for them. Like, and not be, I have to buy this brand or I have to buy that brand. It's more about like, oh, well, if I want that style, then I can go for this sort of angle. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, hopefully as we go along, that'll play out. The last little bit of fashion thing for you. Oh, they're back. They're back, baby. This is a long story, but how good are they? They're back. So for about the last 18 months, I've been on this sad hunt for them ever since I bought these shoes. These are the first ones I got, but I got the wrong size. I got 42.5s, not 43s. They subsequently went out of stock everywhere. I got into this sad sort of spiral of even like DMing EF education riders. Actually, shout to Jans Kukelair. He replied to me a few times, had a bit of a chat about them. Yeah, sadly, could not get them until a mini restock at the RCC Clubhouse in Melbourne. Thank you, Albie. Thank you very much. We're back on the purples, the Nero Team Edition, not the EF ones, and I'm stoked on life. The short. Now, what did you think of that medium, guys? So, obviously I popped that up just about what I'm doing with the Wahoo. I'm more interested, like, how does that medium play out for you guys? Like, I kind of thought it could be a useful way of, okay, I got a little product to test or some little sort of procedure that I thought is worth sharing. It's not worth a vlog or anything, but could be worth in that sort of space. Let us know what you guys think. How does it play out for you? Like, is it annoying? Is it like, oh, what's this in my feed? Or is it sort of, oh yeah, okay, I get it. You think it's a beautiful B-roll shot of my bike, don't you? That's what you think it is, B-roll shot of my bike. But actually, it's a shout to dog owners in Balmain. You do this, we'll start shitting in front of your house. The other sort of chat we had during the week was that little bit about the base training stuff. Enjoyed that chat, actually, guys. I'm glad there was a bit of to and fro, and it's funny on YouTube, though, isn't it? Like, if you mention somewhere that you don't like riding a trainer, it's like everyone jumps out of the closet. Ah! How dare you say you don't like riding a trainer? Trainers are the greatest. I know, whatever, they're great. But the reason that I bring that up is, so I was just in the gym, and this guy comes up talking to me. I don't know about you, but I find talking to people at the gym very strange. I don't particularly like doing it. You got the earphones in, you're in your world. Someone's asking you what your exercise are doing. Anyway, put that aside. It was a nice chat in the end. And he was sort of asking a little bit about cycling, right? And he's like, you know, about training and how do you monitor your training, etc., etc. So I started talking about power and all that kind of thing. And then I was like saying, well, there's, you know, and also you can kind of judge it yourself. Like, how's a particular session or a particular effort feels, you kind of learn how to ride it. And that's that metric, I suppose, that, well, it's not a metric. Maybe it is a metric. I don't know. Help me out. Perceived rate of effort, right? Which is how hard are you going, or how hard do you feel like you are going? And I got 2 takes on this, right? I would love to know. I would love to know what would happen. You had like this group, 1/3 overeating power meters, 1/3 undereating power meters, and 1/3 accurate power meters. And they could see their numbers, right? They could see their numbers. I would be really interested to know whether each of those groups would have the same rate of perceived effort, because I've got this theory, right, that if your numbers are high, then all of a sudden you're going to push a bit harder and you're going to feel better. Vice versa for low, right? And that's very much for like people who have grown up with power meters. And there's a whole generation now, isn't there? It's just good thing, bad thing, whatever. We can talk about that some other day. But I'd love that study to be done. The other thing that kind of bugs me a little bit sometimes, because I'm a big fan of rate of perceived effort and knowing how to ride and knowing not necessarily your zone, but just knowing what sort of output you're doing, right? I'm a big fan of it. But the thing that I don't like about the sort of real lovers of that style is, they talk about the 80s and, everyone could ride better and smarter and all that kind of thing. But, and this is the comment that to and fro I had a little bit with Cam Nichols, he's dead right. Like taking someone from a genuine noob, hate that term, but anyway, you know what I mean, to like competent cyclist nowadays with the metrics that we have, game changer, total game changer. You couldn't have done that. You couldn't have done that 20 years ago. Now the long-term gains of that cyclist would probably be better, but now like you can take that cyclist so much faster from beginner to solid intermediate bike racer. I definitely think in this, coming through this second sort of lockdown-y phase, that there's been a more of a holding on to those cyclists that got into it during lockdown than the last lockdown. I definitely feel it. Like you can see it on the roads that still there are those guys and girls out there who were certainly not on bikes 6 months ago, which is awesome. And I know this is like the $1 million question. I would love your answer on this because I have a theory. Does all these metrics great English, Chris, do all these metrics make cycling more popular? Now, I'll let you know, I think it does. I genuinely think it does because I think you don't have to do it if you don't want to. And that's cool. But for the people who are the data nerds, the technology nerds, I think it adds an extra little layer that wasn't there. And more than that, right? More than that, Sam and Cooper are in Spain at the moment trying to get a world tour contract based purely on technology. And Jay's got one based purely on technology. So even from like the guy dreaming of making the Pro Peloton, it's a new wave of people. So I don't know, I definitely think like we can sit here and bemoan it, and I can talk about how much I like rate of perceived effort and how we've lost the ability to ride and, people don't get in tune with their bodies. True, but I genuinely think that it's actually made cycling more popular. As does all this stuff, like the tech and the things and the bits, and it's what people want, It's all the stuff golf doesn't have. Geez, you must think I hate golf. I'm actually solid golfer, just let you know. Take you on any day of the week. All right. Guys, I'm really been bad with my US sports updates. They will be coming thick and fast next week. We've got lots on in that regard. Now, tomorrow is hopefully going to be pouring with rain. And I want to show you I can ride my bike during it. Oh, God, he's going to do that again, is he? No, I'm keen to show you this, all right? Alrighty, these people up here are staring at me, so I will leave you to it. Farewell. Rate of perceived effort is currently 8. Because I'm walking uphill. Farewell.